What's up, everybody, and welcome to video number 3 in my series dedicated to the $3.5 million Best Ball Championship on Draft.com. Today's topic is stacking and why it should be considered a key component of roster construction for this tournament. So, if you're a DFS player, you are probably very familiar with stacking. If not, you may not be. You know, stacking is a super common DFS strategy, but it really hasn't seeped into the meta of season-long fantasy football, at least not to this point. So when it comes to this particular tournament, I think it's important to realize that this league is hybrid. It is a season-long best ball league with a draft, but it's also a guaranteed prize pool with a huge field and mass multi-entry. So, if you read articles, if you're doing research on how best to tackle this league, you're going to see plenty of people bringing their season-long philosophies to the table. You're going to see late round QB, zero RB, and so on. But it would be foolish, in my opinion, to not also bring proven winning DFS strategies to the mix as well. So that's why we're going to be talking about stacking, because stacking is a proven winning DFS strategy. Here's some numbers. In 2018, 16 out of the 17 DraftKings Millie Maker winners stacked on their rosters, which is over a 94% success rate, and it means that stacking led to huge point totals in almost every week of the season. I don't know how much of an impact it makes over the span of a 12-week season, but when it comes down to the semifinals and eventually the finals, I would be absolutely stunned if the Week 16 winner of that $1 million prize did not have a high-scoring stack on their roster. It would be shocking to me. Okay, so what is stacking? All right, stacking is the basic concept of pairing your quarterback with a pass catcher from their team, whether that's a wide receiver, running back, tight end. It doesn't matter as long as they are catching passes from the quarterback that you've selected. So when we're talking DFS and a salary cap structure, this is a super easy concept to execute because you can start there, right? Say I want to stack Matt Ryan and Julio Jones. Well, I put them in my lineup and then I build the rest of the lineup around that stack. Okay, done. Now, in a snake draft best ball league, this is a little bit more complicated to do successfully because usually you're going to have to take the wide receiver rounds and rounds ahead of the quarterback, right? Because, say I want to draft Julio Jones in the second round. Okay, when am I drafting Matt Ryan now? In the 7th, 8th round, 9th round maybe? This is where some of the controversy comes in. People say don't reach for your stacks, right? So, if I draft Odell Beckham in the second round, am I going to take Baker in the 7th or 8th? I might. Is that an optimal drafting strategy? It's not. But that being said, when you look at mass multi-entry GPPs, sometimes differentiation and upside is better than value. Don't get me wrong, value is important and it has its place in every single draft, but we have to prioritize ceiling whenever we can, okay? 35% of the prize pool of this tournament is in the top 2 finishes, right? So to finish first out of 165,000 people, you need to be the ceiling. You need to chase that ceiling, right? So stacking a roster consolidates the range of outcomes that benefit you. It simultaneously lowers the floor of your roster while raising the ceiling. So for me, I don't care about lowering the floor. I don't care if I finish in last place with an entry. If I don't finish in first, I might as well be in last. Think about it like an if-then statement. If Tyler Lockett pays off his 4th round ADP, then Russell Wilson must have had a pretty decent year because him and Tyler Lockett will have linked up several times for high scoring plays throughout the year. This can also work against you. If Russell Wilson gets hurt, then Tyler Lockett loses a ton of value because now he's playing with a backup quarterback. Same thing with, if Tyler Lockett gets hurt, then Russell Wilson loses value because his top target is now off the field. So it can make one injury impact 2 players, whereas if, I just had Tyler Lockett and a different quarterback, okay, so I lose Wilson, Lockett will still have some value and my quarterback position is still shored up. And then again, why does that even matter? Because, if Russell Wilson gets hurt and he's my QB1, then the chances of me winning this tournament are probably slim to none. So that's what I'm talking about, ignoring the impact of stacking as it relates to lowering your floor and only focus on the raising of your ceiling. So if this team that I'm drafting right now is going to win this thing, then chances are my QB is going off in week 16. If my quarterback is going off in week 16, then chances are, somebody on that team is also catching a huge touchdown, or, some sort of pass catcher is going off. So, that's why I think it's pretty important to only think about your roster in the context of if it's going to win, then what else is going to happen. So that's why I'm stacking on 100% of my lineups if I can. So if you like this video and would be interested in seeing more content like this from me, then follow me on Twitter. And remember that this video was brought to you by the DFS Dose Podcast, your fix of daily fantasy sports information, strategy, and analysis. Over the next 2 weeks, I have 8 videos planned. Each one will be centered around a specific division where I'll go team by team and talk about, you guessed it, stacks. All right, so I will talk about primary and secondary options to stack with every quarterback in the NFL, and I'll talk about how viable I think each of those stacks are in terms of ADP and ceiling. So if you're interested in that, check back. The first one will come out on Monday. Haven't decided what order I'm going to release these in yet. If you want to see a specific division first, hit me up, tweet me. There's my Twitter. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.